Here are 6 strategies on how to win in a bidding war in today's market. Current New Jersey housing market is extremely competitive for buyers. We all know that. Inventory is still extremely low and there are still too many buyers and too few homes for sale. That causes tough bidding wars on every listing that we put on the market, provided it is priced well. And what is a bidding war and how does it work? In real estate, a bidding war can happen when multiple buyers are vying for the same property. And these buyers compete to become the new owner of the property by incrementally increasing their offers, often pushing the price higher than the asking price. And it's not always simply the highest bid that wins in a bidding war. I see it all the time. Many buyers also use non-financial strategies to convince the seller to accept their offer, such as waiving inspections, waiving our contingencies like appraisals. Bidding wars most often happen in a seller's market when there is more demand from buyers than there is supply of homes for sale, exactly what we have in New Jersey right now. They can also happen when home buyers are under some sort of constraint, like a certain deadline they need to meet, for example. In some cases, too, a listing might be purposely underpriced in order to incite a bidding war. If you are a home buyer in New Jersey, you will definitely face some competition, but don't be discouraged. There are ways to help ensure you come out on top in a multiple bid situation. Your real estate agent can help you guide you through the process as well. And here are 6 tactics to try if you want your offer to stand out from the rest. I use some of these tactics. I don't recommend all of them, but I treat it on a case-by-case basis. Number 1 is to have your pre-approval ready. Getting pre-approved for a mortgage shows the seller that you're able to afford their home and have the financing to do it. Please remember that there is a difference between being pre-approved and pre-qualified. Generally, a pre-approval carries more weight than a pre-qualification. A pre-qualification is simply an indication that you could be approved for a loan, while a pre-approval means the lender has already reviewed your finances and is very likely to approve you for a certain amount. Neither constitute a guarantee, though, which is why there is usually a financing contingency in real estate contracts. Number 2, increase your offer. Simply put, being willing to pay more money than other buyers is one of the best ways to get your offer accepted. You may not have to increase it by a lot. It will really depend on the area and other factors, so look to your agent for guidance. I always call a listing agent to find out what the sellers are looking for specifically in offers. Keep in mind that you may need to come up with the extra cash yourself. Okay, lenders mostly finance loans in the amount the home appraises for, not more. So you might also have more of an advantage if you can up your earnest money deposit. Sometimes it also plays a huge role. So when making an offer, be sure it has a short expiration date, ideally 24 hours or less. This way, the seller has to decide quickly whether to accept or move on. In today's market, however, usually we see that the listing agent is putting highest and best by a certain date, and we have no grounds to say to the seller that, okay, you have to give me an answer within 24 hours. So that's the reality of today's market. Number 3 is to up your down payment. Offering a higher down payment means less financing will be needed from a lender, right? And this can be particularly beneficial if the bidding war pushes the price of the property higher than what it's likely to be appraised for. And for this strategy to be effective, it's important to prove you have enough additional cash to put down with evidence such as account balances. Number 4 is pay in cash. I know, easier said than done, but while this option obviously isn't feasible for everyone, a cash offer is very appealing to a seller. There is no need for a lender to be involved, helping to eliminate the risk with financing and speeding up the closing process. Be sure to have the property appraised and inspected before finalizing the purchase, though. There are even some companies out there, especially I know they do that in other states than New Jersey, that will help you make a cash offer for a fee, of course. Number 5 is waive contingencies. Contingencies in a real estate transaction or certain conditions that need to be met in order for the deal to go through are very common. Usually, the buyer has the right to back out of the purchase if these aren't met. Waiving some of all of the contingencies could show the seller you really want to move forward with the purchase. However, this can also cause issues in the future, so be sure to consider carefully, especially if you are thinking about waiving the inspection contingency and also appraisal contingency, because that means you would have to come up with more money out of pocket. Number 6 is to add an escalation clause. What is an escalation clause? It is an addition to your purchase offer that formally states you are willing to increase your bid by a certain amount if another buyer matches yours. In other words, you are promising that you will raise your offer incrementally up to a maximum amount, if necessary, obviously. And this tactic can prove to the seller how serious you are about the home right away, but tread carefully. You might find you are simply playing a game for the benefit of the seller, especially if the home has been intentionally underpriced, and I usually advise against this. Here is how to handle multiple offers if you are a seller in today's market. If you are on the seller's side of a bidding war, congratulations, you are in the driver's seat. Obviously, picking the best offer can help the closing process go more smoothly and ensure you receive the highest possible price for your home. But here is what to consider when reviewing multiple offers, because not always the highest offer is the best offer. So, number 1, prioritize cash offers. A buyer that offers to pay in cash means you as the seller will not have to worry about any potential hiccups with the lender, for example, with appraisal issues, right? Number 2, look at the buyer's overall financial strength. Don't look solely at the offer price. If the buyer isn't likely to get a mortgage approved for that amount or put up more of their own cash, you might have to start the process all over again with someone else. And it's not going to save you time. You're going to lose a lot of time. Number 3, review extras. Look for factors like contingencies and escalation clauses to see if any of these extras help sweeten the deal for you as the seller. Number 4, know your home's value. Consider whether your home might appraise for less than the selling price, which would require the buyer to spend more of their own money. You want proof that the buyer has the additional funds available and the track record of the buyer's lender. You may even want to get your own appraisal before you list your home on the market, so you can benchmark that against other valuations. It's always good to be in the know, and your agent is going to help you with that. Number 5, compare closing dates. If you want to move out as soon as possible, for example, a buyer who is willing to close on a faster timeline may be a major deciding factor for you. Sometimes buyers are renters and they have to wait, they have to give additional notice to the landlord, and they, for example, can close within a certain time frame. So take a look at closing dates as well. Bottom line is this: bidding wars can happen in hot real estate markets where multiple buyers are competing for the same property. We see it in New Jersey right now. And there are a boon for sellers, obviously, as they typically mean the home will fetch top dollar. But they can be very frustrating and stressful for buyers who are under pressure to make their offer as appealing as possible and as quickly as possible. An experienced local real estate agent like myself can help guide your decisions to give you the best chance of winning without breaking the bank. Ideally, right? You know my number. Just call me.